everyone. So this is another feedback video from one of the students of Get SDE Ready. His name is Nikil Malhotra. Nikhil has been interviewing for some companies in the past, and he's also planning to join a company which he would be shortlisting in a few days. I would request everyone to please welcome Nikhil. Hi, Nikhil. How are you?
Hey, hi, Arun. I'm doing good. How about you?
All good, yeah, Nikhil. Thanks for taking out time. Thanks for
No
joining.
worries. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Nikhil, I would be throwing a set of questions on you. It would be simple, plain questions.
hmm
Uh, and if you can please answer them, it would be a feedback for us, for our team, how we can improve our processes. What were you going through before before you joined the course? How was the course? How did you like it? How can we improve our processes? Questions would be around that only. And how are you feeling now when you have
hmm
given multiple interviews? How did your confidence boost? Okay,
Sure, sure.
chalo. Okay. So Nikhil, my first question is, can you please tell us a little bit about the background before joining Get SDE Ready?
Okay. So maybe now I'll give my background. Basically, I have been into the industry for quite a long time.
Okay.
I worked as an senior engineer, you can say, a
Okay.
technical lead as well.
Okay.
But you can always think, right, when you get into these kind of designation, you don't tend to code always or at a ground level kind of thing. And you always get into more on the design part. But now when you always think about any product-based company, being a Google, being Microsoft, being any other companies, right, which are good product-based, they always tend to still go with these basic things, which I was thinking I would say 8, 9 years back I was good, but now it's been a while. I have
Right.
not been, doing this kind of things. So it was kind of overwhelming when I started my journey for giving the interviews. And I was like wondering, okay, after having almost 15 plus years of experience, still market is keen to understand the basic fundamental of DSA and other things, which I have not brushed up, and I don't want to spend a lot of time because of my other priorities as well as a lot of work which I was carrying out in my current organization. So, and I think there I got introduced with Get ST, and I think we had multiple discussions with you and some other folks like Raghu and I believe few other folks as well to
Right.
understand more on the curriculum. And honestly, when I joined this course, I was not very, you know, very open around, okay, what I would be getting it as an output for
Hmm.
me.
Got
But
it.
I have some kind of faith. And honestly, the fee was not that huge amount that I could have not, paid around it. And it's not about fee. It was just when I get a discussion with I had a discussion with you and other folks, right? Then I understood, yeah, okay. Seems like people have been starting their journey with this particular platform. So definitely I can still give a try. And that was very wise decision, which I can say I have taken at that point in time to again brush up on all those concepts. And it was around 3 months of time which I've spent on DSA related things. I was doing it like 8, 9 years back, but now going into the same thing with the same pace, it was not that easy. But yeah, I think the mentors have made it very easy for me to again, brush up on all those facts. And definitely on the system design also, since I have been doing the system design by myself, building certain scalable enterprise-wide solutions. But I think still the quality from the mentors were quite polished, I would say, and delivering the sessions to make everyone comfortable and asking the questions, going through certain set of items which they might not always gonna think when they start on any kind of design concepts.
Right.
So I think that was really good part about what I could say. I have understood and have seen the way people have been mentoring over here.
Got it. Thanks a lot
Yeah.
for giving that background. Thank you so much. Uh, so I
No, but
think
but
you've
honestly, it was it. There's nothing like hidden over here. I'm very open to say, yeah, I mean say. whatever I have been, gone through, definitely helped me out even as a senior person as well in the team, because you always do not always get a lot of time, right, to
Right,
do a lot of things here and there. So
right,
sometimes some shortcuts, some peer members with whom you can interact would definitely help you out.
right. No,
Yeah,
I completely agree. You know, what happens is we are always involved in our work that we forget to talk about other tech stacks, or we actually forget
correct.
to talk about what other teams are doing, probably what other people are doing. There's so much evolution here and there that we can't be good at everything. We
Yeah, I
cannot be.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
So my second question is, what were your goals when you were enrolled in this course?
What were my goals? You
Yes.
okay? See, my goal was very, very simple. I'm telling you. I'm saying there's nothing like I was keen to switch on a job first, but it was like, okay, since I'm starting again after a long time, because it was almost like 9 years. I haven't given any interview because I
Okay.
was I was happy with the current organization. It's a very big renowned company. I don't want to name it, but you know
Hmm.
it very well,
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
So yeah, so that is the reason I thought, okay, let me start now, because you always tend to find somewhere, right, that you need to start again. So my goal was very simple, to at least brush up on the basic concepts first,
Mhm.
and then give a try for some good product-based companies, rather than directly jumping onto the good product company names here and there, giving interviews, and then probably might get demotivated by that I haven't cracked the interviews for so and so reasons. Maybe it could be a number of factors, right? There's no specific one factor around it.
Right.
So yeah, I would say that was like pretty simple thing which I have kept in mind. Okay, I need to just again think like a beginner,
Hmm.
so that at least after a long time I do not have any doubt after these 3 months of time to on the basic things which I am currently looking at.
Got it. But and I completely agree also. You know, I always say it's better to prepare for 2 or 3 months before you
Yeah,
apply,
yeah,
because if you are applying without preparing, definitely probability of you not being able to clear an interview is very, very low,
yeah.
which means you would
Correct.
end up into a 1 year blackout period, cool down
Yeah,
period,
that,
right?
that that is also there. Yes, that's
So,
also true. That's also true for
right,
some big companies. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Why to block yourself for next 9 months, right?
yeah. I totally agree.
Instead, prepare for 2 to 3 months extra, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah. I agree on that, because even I honestly I have given few interviews. I got selected in one or two companies, but it was just like I was starting at that time, and those are not my primary goals at that point in time.
right,
So, but yeah, I mean, say eventually I wanted to go somewhere. So definitely, I thought better. I have enrolled. I'm say over here, but at the same time, at the initial stage, I was looking at all the YouTube articles, all these
right.
things to brush up. Everyone does that, right?
Everyone does that.
That's a basic common tendency. But
Yes,
but the only thing is, when you get into a particular curriculum, right? You get into the regime that
right.
makes you habitual of putting some specific time period and some specific bounded time frame to take some kind of time for yourself to get into anything. And that's I think one of the good part about the course, that the timings were quite aligned based on what I was looking at, and that helped me out in making some of my time to take out specifically for getting into the course. I don't feel any problem during the timing overlapping or any other kind of issues, which sometimes we have it,
Yep.
right? So yeah,
No, I completely agree. Because the timing was framed keeping in mind that the joiner is a working professional.
yeah,
Very honestly,
yeah,
that's why it has to be on the weekends only. You know,
yeah,
you
true.
know, we had experimented with timings a lot. Very honestly, because it has been running for past 3 years. So we had actually experimented all the timings. Initially, when we started, it was every day in the night from 9 to 11. That's how the classes
I
were.
remember, I remember, I remember
Right?
some doubt classes, right? Yeah.
No, even the live instructor
Oh,
classes.
okay.
So
Okay.
it was one day instructor, then the next day doubt, the next day
Oh, okay.
instructor. So it was alternate this way. Now,
Mhm.
point was, then we figured out that when a person is coming back home, he's actually tired.
Yeah, I can understand.
Initially everyone is motivated, but after 2 or 3 classes, it becomes very, very tough. So
Mm.
that's when we experimented multiple timings, and then you know this timing came up and this worked, wherein
Yeah,
12 to 3 works. people are
always,
you know
always.
people are always, they have taken proper rest the previous day, they
Mm.
have had their breakfast, they do not have to party in the afternoon. Of course, they would party in the night. And this was actually one of the reasons, very honestly.
Mm.
So, we had this night timing also, but that also didn't work out on
Uh,
weekends.
yeah, because I think when I joined, there were some doubt classes
Yeah,
which people were hardly joining because
yeah,
of some X reasons, right?
right,
Everyone has their own reasons, but yeah,
right,
I joined few of the classes, but the count was quite low.
yep,
But the good part was at least some of the instructor was always been there
yep,
to just answer if there is any specific topic or any concerns anyone has it.
yes,
So just to get them still motivated and not necessarily to lose their hopes.
yep. Uh, and Nikhil, I remember tracking your performance. You were coming to every doubt class, as far as I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Now, if you remember, I gave you this line that there are enough reasons. Your heart is going to give you enough reasons not to work, but your brain is
I
going to give you only one reason to work,
yeah,
which is
right, right.
to join any other company or whatever the reason is. Everyone has their
Correct,
own dreams and desires.
correct, correct.
So, my next question is, uh, which part of the course helped you the most? Is it DSA? Is it LLD, HLD, doubt classes, live sessions? What?
For me, it was more on the DSA because that
Yeah.
was the thing which I was primarily looking at,
Okay.
being a senior person. Because rest of the things, I think I could have easily made it out by myself.
Uh-huh.
But I'm saying not completely myself, but at least I can give a readout on a
Right.
number of things here and there because I
Right.
used to design and scalable solutions and all those
Yeah.
things, and as an
Right.
engineer. So the main problem was that you know for any good product based company, I think nowadays even you use it on a daily basis or not, but just to check your skill set, always they tend to have these basic rounds around DSA just to
Right.
see the mindset of a person for any product based company. So
Yep.
that was something a little blocker for me, I
Mm.
think always, because getting into again DSA, wherein there's no specific answer for anything, right? There could be
Absolutely.
n number of solutions,
Yep.
and it purely depends upon interviewer also what kind of mood he is into and what kind of approach he is still looking at when you
Right.
answer it. Probably some people might have given some, you know, small, concise answer to the problem solution. Some people might get into phased approach wherein they give brute to better and other things. But it completely depends sometimes on interview as well. So for me, that was always been challenging after a long time. Brushing up again all those things by myself, taking out time is was not working out for me for at
Yeah.
least. That was the main thing. I think I almost joined mostly all the classes,
Yep.
I believe,
Yep.
for DSA. After that, I couldn't get much attention or time to allocate on the other things. But at least whenever I feel like, okay, I was still joining those system design classes and HLD, LLD as well, though I used to do it by myself as well. But still, DSA was the main thing, I think, for me at least,
Got it.
which I was looking at primarily.
Got it. Thank you so much for telling that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, if you can, so you have given multiple interview rounds. If you can walk us through, don't tell or don't mention any company's name that this is how the company interviewed.
Mhm.
If you can, in
Mhm.
general, tell what all things were asked in terms of DSA design behavioral rounds. How
I
many
can
rounds are there in general? If you can drive us through.
see for me being into a senior role as an PSC,
Hmm.
I have given 7 interviews. Honestly,
Okay.
probably it may not be case for everyone. Probably for a
Okay.
software engineer, there could be three, there could be four. But for
Uh-huh.
PSC, there are always like at least 2 to 3 more rounds with
Right.
higher management.
Right.
So for me, the things which I have gone for, and I have been as an architect also for 1 or 2 companies we have
Mm.
which I have recently given interviews.
Okay.
So if I'll join there, I'll be probably a part of innovation focused team over there for a product base.
Okay.
So, just to give you a context around,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, for me, there is always like 7 to 8 rounds being
Got it.
into industry for 15 years plus, let's say.
Right.
But probably, for me, I'll tell you, for an architect round, there was always the first discussion with the director. Usually, it
Okay.
happens like with that way.
Right.
Okay, so that they get to know, or maybe some manager, senior manager, or principal program manager,
Right.
which wanted to understand my expectation, what they are expecting. It is always go into that
Right.
direction first, rather than
Right.
get to the technical things,
Yeah.
and then probably first couple of discussions usually go with any companies like that.
Right.
For me, then there is always a technical discussion. For technical discussion, since I am primarily from the .NET background, they always tend to talk about more related to .NET stuff because
Okay.
especially on the performance profiling, those are the kind like niche areas, right? Which they
Got
can
it.
expect from any senior resource.
Got it.
How do you ensure that if you get into some kind of problem, how
Mm.
do you resolve that problem in an efficient way by looking at uh, traces, or maybe by going into the dumps and all those things to analyze what are the memory problems, what are the CPU profiling issues. So those
Right.
are like primary things which then usually happens. For me,
Got it.
I'm just telling you, for two or
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
rounds, these are like basic things which always have been there.
Right.
And then it comes to DSA. I have 2 rounds initially for DSA. Those
Okay.
are like third and fourth round, and both of the round were like mix of many concepts. So one of the round was around the DSA for graphs problem,
Okay.
because I think that's very common thing. So that
Yep.
was a problem for BFS. And again, it's also a very common problem, but there are like 2 problems which they have given. And the second one was there was a binary search, but with some advanced things. I mean, say it was not like I was not able to give the 100% working solution, but it was binary search along with some other traversal.
Right.
So that like mixed approach. And then there was some, and then the second round was more, again, this was the first round on the DSA, but the second round was on the hashing, especially.
Okay.
And when they talk about hashing, they specifically asked for me to write a complete implementation of hash table.
Oh,
So
great. Got it.
they did not ask me to use dictionary, or
Right.
they asked me to write a hash table, and especially consistent hashing,
Right.
because
Got it.
that's a major thing for any hash, right? Hash
Mhm.
kind of structure, that you even end up in having less collisions,
Right.
right? So they asked me about this thing, how do you do the consistent hashing and all those things. That was one thing. And then there was follow up for the similar kind of thing on the caching part,
Okay.
related to LRU and some other stuffs, which are
Got
again
it.
very common. And then the other part to that second round was that they gave me a working solution, which was working for one of the project. Okay. Now they
Uh-huh.
asked me to refactor it with all the best practices
Okay.
which anyone should be following it up, so that at least we should have all the solid principle. I'm just giving you
Right.
an example.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those kind of things on the refactoring part, how do you make sure that things have been
Got
improved
it.
with your code and all those things.
So this was
Probably
LED.
the yeah. So this was like mix and match for. I'm saying first round was typically DSA. Second round was 70% of it was DSA, and
Okay.
then followed up with a practical problem
Got it.
to do the refactoring of the code
Got
end
it.
to end with everything, being having a transactional behavior in place, or maybe using the what we can say, the pooling, connection pooling, and all those things. Like
Hmm.
they were looking at most of these kind of things.
Got it.
And then I mostly have a discussion with architects
Okay.
where they tend to. I'm say for one of my interview, it was an on-site round with the architect in US. He was
Okay.
a principal solution architect, and he gave me a problem to design the solution with their domain, because it
Okay.
is I'm telling you, anyone who is watching this one, right? I'm say if you're going for any interviews, just make sure you know what is the particular domain the company is working into, and you can definitely expect at least one or two if design problems around those areas. Because one of my friend has joined recently YouTube team,
Right.
so she was specifically told to design AdSense, that
Oh, got
how
it.
skip ad and other things works, right?
Got it.
So similarly, I have given an interview for an architect, and the domain which the company was working on, they asked me clearly, can you design the solution?
Okay.
Especially, how do you ensure you have distributed systems and you're all, I'm saying they wanted to have a seamless system wherein you publish something and it should automatically get subscribed. But it
Got
was
it.
not typically a pub sub model, but basically the updates happens with the agenting model.
Okay.
So those kind of things were there. And similarly for other company, it was very similar to that. They are also into SaaS based products. So they asked me to design the what we can say, this Active Directory, right? For example,
Right.
Azure Active Directory.
Uh-huh.
Similar to that, they
Okay.
always also have their own directory system.
Got it.
So they asked me, how do you design, how do you register the devices into the directory,
Okay.
and how do you make sure that people can use this as a one-stop solution.
Got
So
it.
those kind of things were like very picky things specific to the company bounded domains which they are working on. And I think most of the companies try to at least ask some minimum one or two questions around their things, what they are pioneers in it. And
Right.
they wanted to think around, okay, how as an external person you approach those kind of problems.
Right.
At least based on my interviews or my experience, I have been seeing this kind of pattern at least in one or two rounds anywhere randomly with their problem statement, which they have either solved it or they are yet to solve it. They always wanted to eagerly look at their other person's perspective on those
Got it.
problem statements.
Got it.
And then I think follow-up discussion with HR and other director or maybe some other senior management folks. I'm saying
Got
usually this
it.
this happens.
Yeah. Last is generally negotiation and all those
Yeah,
behavioral ones, right?
negotiation and all. Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
best part, no?
It depends. It depends sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, just the last question. How do you
Mhm.
feel now after achieving these good, great offers?
See, I'll tell you. It again. It is very individual's perspective. Whatever I have received, again, there is always a thing in mind, right? That I can do much
Right,
better.
right,
So why should I stop?
right,
Trying out. So
right.
I'm still giving a try. I would say
Okay,
there's no harm in it. Though I have received some offers and all, but yeah, it's a usual practice which I wanted to follow, because almost for 8 to 9 years I was literally, I have taken n number of interviews for n number of people, but I
right,
haven't given any single interview by myself or any
right,
other company. So yeah, it's now a time where I'm doing it. Even if I don't want to go anywhere, at least I wanted to be into a habit of
right.
testing myself, that okay, where I stand after a long time and all those things, whatever I have learned
And
so far.
just adding on to it, why to have single point of failure for ourselves?
Yes, absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely.
Look, I had not given any interview for last 5 years. I
Oh,
had not given, right?
okay.
But then recently I started giving interviews myself
Mm,
also. Uh,
mm,
Giving an interview is altogether a different ball game.
yeah. I mean, say, it's always not like, I would say, that you always wanted to clear thing. It's
Right.
sometimes that you wanted to evaluate yourself as well.
Yes.
That okay, whether you know what is going on in the market or not.
Yep.
At least from a general point of view, not very picky on a specific part.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, just to get a line. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. That is all what I wanted to ask, Nikhil. Thank you so very much for answering all those questions, and I'm pretty sure that this would be really, really helpful. I hope you
Yeah.
also had fun.
I really wanted to say yes, definitely for the span of time which I have spent in learning things. I am not saying that I am, I am like can do everything now, whatever I have learned, because there is always a area
Yep.
of improvement. Definitely, you cannot learn anything in like 3 months of time. You can get habitual of doing things, and
Right.
then you can, do practice and make your life easy to get adapted with this kind of mindset.
Yep.
I'm still doing it, honestly, and I wanted to continue with the same mindset going forward as well.
Sure. Sure. All
Yeah.
the time. You have lifetime access with Get
Yes,
SDE Ready.
that's a good part about it.
Yep.
I can bug any one of you to
Yes.
please help me out here and there wherever it is needed.
Anytime. Anytime
Yeah,
and every time.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Thank you so very much, Nikhil.
yeah. Thank you, Arun. Thank you for me bringing me here. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
See you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Take care.
You too.